Maria Evans was an African-American poet, writer, and dramatist associated with the Black Arts movement. Born and raised in Toledo, Ohio, Black Arts poet, playwright, and children's writer, Mary Evans was educated at the University of Toledo, where she studied fashion design. She was influenced by Langston Hughes, who was an early supporter of her writing. In her short-line poems grounded in personal narratives, Evans explored the nature of community and the power of language to name and reframe. Her best-known poems include "Speak the Truth to People", "To Be Born Black", and "I Am a Black Woman". "I Am a Black Woman", written in 1970, the poem which won the Black Academy of Arts and Letters Poetry Award.
I am a black woman. The music of my song, some sweet arpeggio of tears, is written in a minor key, and I can be heard humming in the night. Can be heard humming in the night. I saw my mate leap screaming to the sea, and I, with these hands, cupped the life breath from my issue in the canebrake. I lost Nat's swinging body in a rain of tears and heard my son scream all the way from Anzio for peace he never knew. I learned Da Nang and Pork Chop Hill in English. Now my nostrils know the gas, and these trigger-tired fingers seek the softness in my warrior's beard. I am a black woman, tall as a cypress, strong beyond all definition still, defying place and time and circumstance, assailed, impervious, indestructible. Look on me and be renewed.
Due to the duality of being black and woman, African American women suffered great struggle throughout history. The poem "I Am a Black Woman" by Mary Evans greatly signifies the relationship between black women historically and in a modern society. Evans uses inspiring and influential language to grab the reader's attention, appealing to the reader's emotions. Furthermore, the speaker of the poem describes various instances in which she or African American women as a whole have been troubled by devastating tactics the world has thrown at them. Additionally, it is evident that the speaker of the poem is a strong black woman, which has sustained her title through all unfortunate circumstances. More importantly, foreshadowing from present to past tense, Evans sets the reader up for historical events that are significant to the history of a strong black woman. It can be inferred that the use of foreshadowing signals the idea of repeated events that attempted to break African American women. As if answering the question, "Who are you?" Evans' poems repeatedly states, "I am a black woman," to emphasize the importance behind a black woman's struggle, which differs from any other woman of any other race. Incomparable to all other races, black women have faced a plethora of events in which made them who they are today. In the poem "I Am a Black Woman", Mary Evans uses imagery so visual to express the incredulously indestructible self-awareness gained as a result of the never-ending battle of black women. With 3 stanzas, Evans takes the reader on a series of events that build one's sense of pride or dignity of being black. In the first stanza, Evans uses present tense to describe the current status of an African American woman who has overcome the resentment of rejection from society. Speaking in first person, the speaker informs the readers of who she has become as a result of unjust historical events. The metaphoric language Evans uses to depict the success of a black woman greatly contributes to the feeling of the reader receives. Reading these lines, "I am a black woman, the music of my song." This analogy is saying with all that comes along with a strong black woman, the most important or valuable attribute is the pride in being black. In this short line much meaning is present and can be interpreted many ways. However, what Evans is signifying is through everything an American African woman is. She is always black and proud of it. Moreover, with great correlation to the historical events described later in the poem, Evans writes, "Some sweet arpeggio of tears is written in minor key, and I can be heard humming in the night, humming in the night." Because the definition of arpeggio is a chord whose notes are played in a rapid succession rather than simultaneously. This word slowly informs the reader that the speaker is referring to events that have happened repeatedly, one after another, in the past that have not stopped the black woman. Throughout history, women have fought for their rights of equality and have suffered greatly. However, the fight of a black woman is much more intense because as a black woman, before the granting of women's rights, they were not even accepted as women. Therefore, black women had to fight for acceptance as not only for gender but race. Therefore, the arpeggio of tears referred to can be described as the fight for women's rights, and then the fight for African American women acceptance, the women's voting rights, and every other historical injustice black women have encountered rapidly one after the other. On the contrary, in the second stanza, Evans writes as if the speaker is reflecting on the past. Written in past tense, Evans describes times in history where black women faced horrific triumph because of the historical exploitation of African Americans. Each of the historical references in this stanza help the reader to understand what African American women have suffered, imagined, and what happened through visual and descriptive words Evan used. "I saw my mate leap screaming to the sea, and I, with his hands, cupped the life breath from my issue in the canbrake." This line suggests that through slavery the black woman has watched her husband yearn for his life. During the Middle Passage, slaves were shipped from Africa to European countries to work. Without food, the ability to move, breathe, or communicate, the men who were brave enough to jump on the ship did as so. Seeing water as a mere quench of thirst or even an escape route, man longed for the ability to be free. Evan's ability to use visual and descriptive words helps the reader to understand and imagine the struggle of African American women. Therefore, the speaker is referring to the watching of her husband or mate be taken from and put into slavery, yearning to escape at sea. Furthermore, the inference of cupping her hands to grasp the life breath refers to the life within, or the ability to live and breathe freely while on a plantation, which she calls canbrake. Evan also writes, "I lost Nat's swinging body in a rain of tears, and heard my son scream all the way from Antio. For peace he never knew. I learned the nang and pork chop hail in anguish." Clearly, all of the occurrences the speaker reflects on are significant to history. The swinging of Nat's body indicates the execution of Nat Turner, who stood up for the rights of African Americans and was killed as a result. It is clear that the speaker could not have been living through all of these significant historical events. Therefore, Evans is writing a brief reflection of events that have affected African American women in the past, that are significant to the woman she is today. The speaker also gives reference to the pain a black woman suffered as a result of her son fighting in the Vietnam War, for peace he would never receive. Moreover, this reference to the Vietnam War is an important aspect of history and clearly affected the world tremendously. However, it affected the black community even more so than imagined. Therefore, the foreshadowing Evans uses in the second stanza is extremely important to the arpeggio of tears faced by black women, as well as the sustaining of strong individuals throughout all circumstances. Also in the third stanza, Evan uses first person to revert black to present tense. This stanza acts as if it is a conclusion of everything strong black women have become as a result of everything they have experienced. The style of metaphoric phrases used in the stanza make the reader visualize a tall, strong, bold black woman. Nonetheless, Evans is also signifying the idea that one cannot define this woman, for history has made African American women everything they are today, and no one being can change this or knock them down. Assailed, impervious, indestructible, look on me and be renewed.